What's going on, Flicks Talkers? Welcome back to another movie review. This time for the Guy Richie directed, produced, written like this
everything.
Screenplay, everything.
Wears many hats.
The Gentleman, yeah. It came out January 24th, 2020. I think this is going to be a real big one for this weekend.
Yeah.
We're going to let you guys know what we thought in a second, but before we do that, we'll go over the cast, and it's an all-star cast.
Amazing cast. A-listers, really good cast, really well put together.
Right in the forefront, you get Mr. Matthew McConaughey, who's probably the biggest, I think, is the A-lister.
Yeah.
They're all great, but Matthew McConaughey, you get Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, you get Charlie Hunnam, who's Sons of Anarchy, and King Arthur.
King Arthur was the one, which is also a Guy Ritchie
Mean
film
Street
as well.
Hooligans.
Yeah,
I really like that one.
You also get Henry Golden.
Henry
Golden, who was in Crazy Rich Asians. He's definitely on the rise.
Colin Farrell,
a huge favorite of mine.
Colin Farrell's awesome.
God, he did great in this movie.
He was really good.
Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant was a huge one. That was. He was kind of like the narrator of the story.
He was like the narrator. He was one like progressing the story on. And, it was pretty cool.
It's our only female pretty much in the movie.
Michelle Dockery.
And I had to look it up, but she was in Downtown Abbey. That's our cast right there, guys. And this movie in a nutshell is kind of hard to describe because there's a lot of things going on.
Different like stories within the story.
And sub things going on. And this film is pretty much Matthew McConaughey's character being like a drug kingpin, but not in the sense of heroin or cocaine, which is like the most lucrative, but marijuana. Weed. Marijuana, and they call it Bush in this one. They actually have a couple of different names.
They got a few names.
For weed in this film. He becomes a kingpin, and he's stationed out there in England, and he has 12 pretty much pot locations like where he's growing factories,
warehouses.
And he's in the process of selling and just working with other people, and there's other younger organizations coming in wanting to take that from him. So there's a bunch of conflict going on and different subplots with different characters. So you get Charlie Hunnam's character working with Mr. Matthew McConaughey, kind of like his bodyguard. He was like his right-hand man.
He was like his right-hand man. Like you can tell he's that respect for him, and they work together.
It was funny because the smallest details they added that his character had OCD. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah.
He was talking about little things like not smoking in the house, leaving your shoes at the door. He tells Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant plays a huge part of this story from the beginning.
It's like a investigator,
reporter, journalist.
Yeah.
And he finds out some information and almost tries to blackmail McConaughey and his organization. So he starts telling the story, which becomes the story that we're watching, and it's a story within a story. He's seeing it from different points of view, and there's twists and turns all through it.
There's a lot of twists, a lot of turns.
That's an understatement.
Just when you think something's gonna happen this way, it just goes whoop. It just goes in 180s. It's crazy, and does it a few times, which was cool.
And Henry Golden's character is the young dragon in this movie. They kept calling him Dry Eye. What is that mean?
I think that was just his maybe his gangster name. I'm not sure.
So anyways, he's a young guy on the rise, and he just wants to take it all.
He wants to be the top.
Once things do not work out in his favor, he just goes into full gangster mode, him and his buddies. That's when stuff goes really Guy Ritchie style.
It gets crazy.
And it does get crazy. I mean, first off, the likes of this movie for me was just the character development. Unlike the last movie that we saw. Which was Underwater. They had 7 characters on the screen. Like this one. You get like 5 or 6 solid characters. But at least they explain the backstories of these guys. All the mannerisms.
It's like when you're watching this movie, I was like, I cared about the characters that I was watching. I was like watching them, and I was like, that's an awesome character, man. I see where the guy. It's like they're really cool, or it's just like you're worried about them. You're like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And
the writing was so witty. It was so clever. It was funny. And it when you had solid characters like Charlie Hunnam, it seemed like he didn't say too much, but what he said was like very important.
Oh no, totally. He just had this presence. He had this like
a very authoritative.
Just like you look at him, you're like, hey, I didn't mean anything, man.
It's like there's a whole scene where he goes in to extract this one girl, and he has to deal with all these other guys, and it's like a huge speech. It was almost like a Quentin Tarantino
it
vibe.
It like a Pulp Fiction when Samuel Jackson goes into the house and he's just talking to them all, and he starts quoting
him and John Travolta. Yeah. So instead of just bang, boom, boom, bang, and we're out, he goes in and he gives a whole speech, and you just start learning things about different characters.
It was crazy.
It was good. It was really good, realistic dialogue, and it made me actually care about these characters and laugh at them, and just I had a great time with all these characters.
They were all amazing. I can't say which character is my favorite, because these predominant characters that were in it, I liked them all. I mean, I liked them all. It was just, I agree. They were all really good. They all had their moments in this movie, and they were all I can't say that Matthew McConaughey was the main person. It was there was 4 different main,
4 different things going on,
people, and so
it was almost like that movie Crash in the situation of where you get other characters, but their worlds intertwine and collide because they're all, something happens with I don't want to spoil anything, but they all end up just kind of coming together, whether good or bad, and they end up with the resolution at the end of the movie. I thought this movie was fantastic through and through. The action was great. The twists and turns, the acting was awesome. The only thing I really would have liked, and it's not a spoiler, guys, but I really wish I would have saw Colin Farrell a little more.
Colin Farrell was really good.
He plays a side role.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. They kind of made him a coach of this boxing team.
Yeah. He was like a boxing, wrestling coach, master coach.
And it was believable because you know what? When you see Colin Farrell 10 years ago was the forefront action guy.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
This one he seemed more mature.
Yeah.
And he's played more, the background.
Laid back. Yeah. He definitely got the least amount of time on the screen, but when he was on, he did so good. But yeah,
he was someone that he got involved with Matthew McConaughey's line of work, and he was
kind of by accident.
He had to do what he had to do, and he was like, okay, I'm just gonna do these jobs, and we're done, guys. That's it. And it seemed very genuine and realistic. And I loved it, even though it was a short time. I liked his character a lot.
His character was so good. It was funny. It was witty. It was really, really good.
Yeah,
really believable. It just had that dry humor and the timing, and it was just. It was perfect. It just makes you laugh, and what he says, it's really awesome.
What'd you think about Matthew McConaughey in this movie?
I love Matthew McConaughey and almost everything he does. He's such a great actor, thought he was amazing. I thought he did really good. He was believable. His intensity when he just goes, and he's in he has that presence too, and it's just another one oh dude, it's just you get those. I didn't know, you won't mess with them, it's
at first I didn't know how they were gonna, because there's almost that Nick Cage factor of when it comes to Matthew McConaughey, you don't know what Matthew McConaughey you're gonna get.
No, totally, crazy, yelling Matthew McConaughey, or chilled, selling a Lincoln Matthew McConaughey.
So I was waiting, and then when they started describing the story about certain situations that happened, especially with him and Henry Golding, I was like, okay, cool, we're getting that Matthew McConaughey. And he really held himself together as someone that we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars worth of weed empire.
Hundreds and hundreds of millions.
So you can't be stupid to be running a business like this.
No, you could tell how smart he was. Watching it, you could tell he was always thinking ahead. He always knew and planned what this person is going to do, and that was so good.
And he was the only American, I think, on the cast, pretty much.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much.
I think so.
Yeah.
Everybody else was a British actor.
Irish.
Or Irish. I think he had talked about how he didn't want to have his operations in America because there was too much eyes kind of watching. Type of deal. So that was the whole explanation for him moving to England. And his wife in the movie was the woman that I just named from
Dockery.
Dockery. And they worked well as a pair together.
They did.
And she was just as gangster as him.
She was a badass, dude. I really liked her character. She was really cool.
It was very cool. Just everything just fit like a puzzle.
It was like Tetris, and everything ends up when you think it's gonna just get overflowed, it just gets in the cracks, and just you're like, oh shit, I didn't think that could get any more crazy, and then it does. And then when you think it's all right, that's it does another 180, and you're just wait a minute, it's one of those things. So it's pretty rad.
Through and through, I really enjoyed this movie. I did not have any gripes with it.
I can't say I had any gripes. I really liked McConaughey when he said, you know, he deals with weed, marijuana, and he's like, you know, to another drug lord, he's like, you guys do heroin and, you know, and deal heroin and stuff like that. And he's just like, I'm not going to do that because that, you know, kills people, that destroy it, you know. So he's like, he's got a code. He's got like, you know, he's not like an evil person. He's not like a bad guy, you know.
And he even told the other guy, he goes, I'm not here to preach to you about what you're selling. Like, I understand this is a business, but he understood also the addiction of it. So it was kind of like it was a little more deep rooted in him. Yeah. Because weed was like a part of his life since he was such a young age, and they kind of, you know, show his upbringing and stuff like that. And he came from a poor beginnings, and he really had to work his way up the chain. But once again, these are hundreds of millions of dollars of drugs that he's dealing with. And I thought it was cool. I thought everything, you know, was very, very believable. Yeah. I guess my final score I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5.
I agree. I give it a 5 out of 5 easily. Yeah. This is one I would definitely see again in theater. I would pay full price to see it. Get a popcorn and an icy. Oh yeah, for sure with it. But
that's what we did.
That's what we did. I think I got a blue tongue. This is it.
Yeah. So I think, and the way the movie started off. Well, no spoilers once again, but the way the movie started off and the whole intro credit scene, which was very 007. I thought it was such a great, like, you don't know what you're in for.
When it first starts off, you know, no spoilers, but you're just like,
what? Like, how are they going to explain this? You know? But I like the way it all kind of panned out, and I liked it a lot. So I mean, it was one of the better movies for the month.
One of the better ones, you know, definitely for sure.
Yeah, so a good one to set off. You know, 2020. We're still in January, so
highly recommend it. Definitely see The Gentleman.
Yeah,
really great movie. You'll walk out and feel like, that was a really good movie.
You'll feel like a gentleman. You'll feel like a gentleman.
You'll feel like a gentleman.
Yeah, so I mean,
right?
Yeah, if you guys want to feel manly for a couple of hours, definitely check this one out.
Yes, right.
So I think on that note, we're going to let you guys go. And if you guys did appreciate this review, please give it a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments below. Are you going to check out The Gentleman this weekend, or are you guys going to wait for streaming or video on demand to check it out? Or are you guys going to wait all the way until it comes out on physical? I'm probably going to add this one to my collection.
I would definitely get this for, you know,
this is going to go right
4K,
next to this is going to go right next to Snatch.
No kidding. Yeah, Snatch, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, for sure.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the higher Guy Ritchie films for me.
Yeah, me too.
So I think he did a great job of this one. And like I said, I mean, he produced it, screenplay, writer, director. Like,
how many hats? How many hats? Dude, you guys got many hats, and he did it so good. And he executed it so perfect. It was, like I said, it was one of, like you said, it was one of my better favorite Guy Ritchie films.
Yeah, so for sure. All right, guys, make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe and bell notification for more content like this. All right, guys, till next time, we're gone.
Bye.